Hello, and welcome to today's FIBREE Talks. Actually, we have a special FIBREE Talks today with two very special guests. I'll introduce you to John Deere Markunas, whom I'm sure you know very well. And John is a fellow member at FIBREE. He's an executive board member. He's a head of a chapter. He's a regional chair. And at the same time, one of the most active members at FIBREE alongside Michael. And I'll tell you about Michael in a second. And this event is special. This FIBREE Talks session is special because we are talking about a collaboration between FIBREE and the Blockchain Real Estate Summit, which is a very interesting summit that we will discuss today in detail. One thing I will start with, whoever is a member of FIBREE enjoys a 25% discount on the tickets for the summit. Whoever is not should become a member today. And that's a great value, as per Michael, for you to join. Gentlemen, how are you?
Makram, thank you so much. I'm good. I'm based here in Miami, Florida.
Perfect.
Hi,
Michael. Hello. Hi, Michael. Michael,
Yeah.
Thank you so much for joining us today. And thank you for John and yourself for this amazing collaboration that you've created. I'll not introduce each of you individually, but with very few words. Yeah. Michael, you're a fund manager, real estate fund manager. You're someone who's seasoned. And when I looked at your profile, it's the first time we meet face to face. However, it's an interesting profile. You're my type of guy. You're in real estate. You're a fund manager of real estate, and you understand the opportunity in blockchain in real estate. So I'm sure we'll have so much fun today. John Deere Markunas, somebody who heads his own consultancy. He's, as I said, one of the most active members of FIBREE. He's very active. You always see John on a conference, on an event. I'll not talk much more about the gentleman, but I'll leave space for each of you to introduce yourselves. And if you don't mind, John, I'll start with Michael, knowing that he's our FIBREE guest today. So, Michael, the floor is yours, and go ahead, please.
Well, thank you very much for inviting me on. It's really exciting. I've been in real estate since 1986 and been involved with crypto in various forms since about 2017, and really figured out that there were people doing real estate with crypto, but it wasn't really regulated. But I did see that the essence of the blockchain, where you could instantaneously transfer value anywhere in the world, what a game changer that was. So that's how I became involved and became very interested. So I like to describe myself as a real estate guy with a tech jump shot. So I know enough about the technology to be very dangerous. And what I really wanted to say was, we're doing the Blockchain Real Estate Summit to create education for more people to find out how to do this, how to invest in tradable private real estate, how to create access for more people throughout the world to do it. And I'm really excited to say that as one of our partner sponsors, FIBREE is just bringing it to the next level.
Thank you so much, Michael. Actually, you know, this subject not only intrigues me, but inspires me, and I'm sure it inspires most of the FIBREE members, because I always said I would like my father would have been able to own for $100,000 a piece of property in 47 Park Street, Mayfair, London, Fifth Avenue, and maybe Dubai and Singapore, probably, where he would have needed a few millions of dollars to do the same. So it intrigues me, and the collaboration between yourself and FIBREE, between the event and FIBREE, in my opinion, is a great great value for the members of FIBREE, as well as everyone who will be joining the event. So what I would want to say is, again, anyone who's joining the event or who would like to join the event, who haven't bought his tickets yet, go and subscribe to FIBREE. You'll get 25% on the event. It's a good deal, huh? John, how are you?
Great. Thank you, Makram.
Now the floor is yours. So tell us more, please.
Absolutely. And thank you once again for organizing this session. My background is similar to Michael's. I have a 30-year background in commercial real estate across the board, working with real estate developers as a real estate broker in 3 countries. I've had a focus on Latin America. Interesting enough, I have 7 years of experience working in the title insurance industry, which lends itself to blockchain implementation at some point. And with my little company called Power Chain Consultancy, LLC, we provide consulting services, advisory services, pretty much to startups in the space. That is, Makram, companies that are in technology who want to bridge over to provide their services to the real estate industry. And on the other side, real estate companies, brokers, developers who really should be bridging over to using technology. So I focus on those two sectors of the real estate market. So that's and I like what Michael said about himself. He's a real estate guy with a tech jump shot. I like to think of myself as a real estate guy with a tech slam dunk. But it's not competition. Thank you.
Look, we'll keep it till the event, and we'll go on there. John, you're discussing the industry report, which we will discuss in a second. However, I want to start again with Michael. Michael, again, I said you're my type of guy. You're a real estate fund manager, and you're in real estate since since pretty long. Your real estate career is approximately the same as my age. So, and when I was researching your career, you've done pretty impressive stuff. And today you had a fund, and for people who had funds, they either see or they see both an opportunity, a challenge, and a risk in technology, especially in tokenization. It seems to me that you see the opportunity you see is dominant. But tell me more, please, about what's the opportunity you see, what's the risk you see, and what's the challenge you see in technology, specifically in blockchain.
Well, I think that there's just such a huge opportunity with blockchain, and especially to create access for people. But not only that, but to make it simpler for fund managers or people that are investing in large properties, make it simpler to create access for those investors. So it's going to do 2 things. It's going to simplify the sponsors, the issuers, and the actual owners of the property. And it's going to make it easier for people. As you said, I love your vision with your father. I truly believe that, you can have a farmer in the middle of Uganda, and you can have a farmer in the middle of Colombia, and they can both be buying, a piece of an office building in London, or they could both be buying, a piece of an office building in Nairobi. So it's just, that's the vision. The other thing that I really think is going to be a game changer here is, as John talked about, if we could ever get real estate title onto blockchain, it will simplify the real estate closing process, and it will create all kinds of new opportunities and all kinds of new capital coming into the industry worldwide to create new housing, so that we can eliminate the housing crisis. We can create new growth opportunities for all kinds of, whether it's in the US, whether it's in the UAE, all over the place. If you can create capital, everybody, and this is what I always say, and this is what I say to my, Bitcoin, the Bitcoin hardliners. I always say, you can't do Bitcoin without real estate. So everybody needs real estate. Everybody needs a place to work. Everybody needs a place to live. Everybody needs a place to worship. So real estate is under everything.
I admire that so much, and I always tell them, if you sell nuts, there's people who would be your customers, and there's others who may have an allergy on your product. If you sell real estate, no one can have an allergy, because the last time we've seen somebody living in a tent was a long time ago. So I salute you for that. You know what? You're a fund manager, and one of the things you present as a fund manager is the ability of people to invest in a diversified portfolio and you mentioned now the gentleman in Uganda and the other guy in Colombia, and probably they can buy a piece of their farms, so that if a devastating monsoon or whatever, if there is monsoons in Colombia, and it hits the farm, it wouldn't be devastating. So that kind of diversification. Do you think that is a threat to funds, or do you think that's an opportunity for funds?
I really think it's an opportunity for funds, because when I first got heavily into blockchain real estate, I was doing advisory work for a group that was doing an ICO. And these guys raised money, and they were tech guys. And as you said before, they didn't really know a whole bunch about the real estate part of it. And so when I really started thinking about it, I also, this goes back to Bitcoin too. I didn't understand, because I don't really do math well. So I didn't understand the algorithms behind Bitcoin. I'm like, this is just a software thing. Why not tie it to real estate? And then I started saying, I know that Ben Franklin originally proposed, when everybody else was talking about tying the dollar to gold, Ben Franklin was talking about tying the dollar to land. And so it's like, why couldn't you have a land coin where everybody knows that land and real estate is the world's most proven store of wealth. So why not back your money by something like that instead of, these fiat dollars that are just printing and printing and printing all over the world?
So today you want to have the dollar tied to real estate. That's cool. Actually, I believe if we tokenize real estate and we put title on chain, probably we're doing that in a way or another. Allow me here to go to John. John, there's something that is a question, and is a big question, I believe, to everyone in the industry and everyone who's not in the industry. And the question is, where's the biggest challenge, supply or demand?
Oh, wow. I can get into that. And let me just piggyback off of what Michael was saying. Allow me to provide the audience and us with some statistics on the market, which Michael alluded to. Now, according to certain sources, the residential and commercial real estate market globally is pegged at about $228 trillion. Okay, this is a whopping huge number. Now, interesting enough, only 3% of the global population has invested in real estate. But 80%.
One second, I hate to intrude. I want to stop you. Please, can you repeat? So you're saying 3% of the world population is invested in real estate. Clarify, please. Look, two real estate guys are looking at you and saying, clarify, please.
And this is a source called from Law 360. This is expert analysis and legal developments and trends from a group called Law 360. So I think it's a pretty sharp, close number. So 3% are invested in real estate, but only 80% view real estate. 80% view real estate as a good investment. There's something wrong here. And Michael alluded to it, you alluded to it, and that's access to the market. So only 7% of this amount of the 228 trillion is currently available for investment to retail investors, the smaller market, the market we're talking about, the token market. Now, another study came out, and this is very interesting. I think you'll like this. This came out from Moore Global International Advisory and Accounting Network. They did the study, and they did a little algorithm or a little forecast, and they said if 0.5% of this whopping market of 228 trillion, 0.5%, if it were tokenized, fractionalized and tokenized and available to the market within the next 5 years, it would be $114 trillion worth of commercial real estate, retail, residential and commercial real estate available to the retail market. This is amazing, absolutely amazing. And this is why we're heading towards, this is why this whole tokenization is so attractive, not only to the issuers and to the people who own the assets, but now for the investors. But there's a caveat here. With all emerging markets and innovative technologies, tokenization faces several issues or obstacles or challenges. It's a novelty. There are uncertainties with regulation, taxation, governance, and there are other challenges like what are the return of ROIs, the returns when you buy a token, an STO token backed by real estate. It's a little obscure. there's a lack of pricing transparency, and there's a lack of public awareness and a lack of education. And this is what we're doing, is providing education for everyone. So that's just a quick snapshot of the market.
So what's the biggest challenge? Is it supply or demand? Is it
Okay.
supply or of
Demand.
interest? Demand.
Demand.
Perfect.
We have to do a better job of educating the market, the investor market, about what can be available, and the market's huge, and there's product.
Which is what we're doing in a way or another. You know, John, I picked this from the Summit's website, and why is it a very interesting diagram? I'm not sure if it's clear to you and to everyone. I hope it is, guys. If it's not, pardon me. And this talks about something very interesting. To explain the diagram very easy, and it's from Liberty Real Estate, which is Michael's company. This talks about distribution of value in asset classes. I will leave Michael to talk about it in a second. But John, when you see such an opportunity, and you see that we've been on it since 7 years now, other than it's a novelty and it's challenging, what is stopping real estate tokenization from going mainstream?
Well, there's a couple things. One might debate these two things with me, but the first is the secondary market, which provides liquidity. The secondary exchange markets need to be more developed, they need to be more robust, and they need to be international. So that's where you sell the tokens and exchange them if you're investing in STOs, security tokens, backed by real estate. The second issue is demand. Who are the investors? Where are they coming from? How do we reach them? So those are two issues, I think, that are two obstacles right now. And I find that as I advise companies, startups especially, one of the biggest questions they have is, you know, John, we're gonna mint 500,000 tokens. They're $50 a piece. Who are we going to sell them to? How do we find the market? So I think that those are two issues. So I'll pass the microphone back.
Michael, please explain it to us. And by the way, I've shared the link that you sent so that everyone can access the same page that we're on. Please explain the diagram to us, please.
Oh, sure. So the diagram is, but I just want to back up and argue with John a little bit, because I think one of the other issues to adoption is that it's just too hard, especially with average real estate investors. And I put myself in that, thing. If you have to ask a real estate investor to open up a MetaMask wallet. Now, I'm, technically somewhat competent, and I was motivated to open up a MetaMask wallet, but it still took me like 2 days to do it. That's one of the things to get people. It just has to be easier. It has to be like somebody getting an app on their phone and then, seeing, oh, I can buy $5, of this piece of house that, can, give me X amount of dollars. But in order to talk about the diagram up there, really what it shows is the giant opportunity, because global real estate just dwarfs everything, and so if you can, in really the statistics that John just said about only that percentage of people. So if you could open that up. Yeah. And if you could open that up to like so many more people, think about it this way. There's a lot of people that, in different countries that actually don't have clear title to their property. They could get clear title to their property. Then they could access capital to invest in a business, to do all kinds of other things. And without that, you can't transfer that wealth. So, when that person dies, it's like, where does that go? There's all kinds of stuff. So what we really think that blockchain can do is, number one, create clear title of property, and you can see who owns the asset. Number two, it's the instantaneous value transfer, so that if I have, like, let's say $100 worth of a building, and John is interested in it, and this is where John, is correct. There is, the secondary market isn't there. But imagine if I could just, do peer to peer. I say I've got $100 worth of this building. He says, "Oh, that's a great, return. I'm interested in it." And so we could just swap it peer to peer. We don't have to go through anybody. I mean, that's the promise of this technology. There's a lot of promise to, all kinds of things. It's just that some of the regulations haven't necessarily caught up with what the technology can do.
You're right. The only thing I can tell you is that you're right. And part of the challenges that we're living, aside of the education to the general public, and here, there's a point that's very key. How many millennials are there around? John, how many millennials are there around in the world today? Because those people are the people who would be more interested and more able to understand it easily. As Michael mentioned, it took him 2 days to have a MetaMask account. My son, who's 7, teaches me how to use the iPhone. So, John, how many millennials and Gen Z are there out there, please?
Well, yeah. So we're talking about what I think this question is sort of brings us to where the investor market is for the retail side. Let me make a couple comments germane to the U.S. market. And this is something very interesting came up the first quarter of last year, 2021. An amazing statistic came out. In the first quarter of 2021 in the United States, over 50% of the population is now millennials and Gen Z. This is amazing. Why? Well, millennials, also called Gen Y, constitute about 23% of the population in the United States, and the population is 329 million. So this is the first generation born between 1981 and 1996 who grew up on the internet. They grew up in the internet age, smartphones, internet, social media as well. Gen Z, which we have to throw in there because they're an important part of this market, they were born in the late 1990s to early 2010s. This is the largest generation, Gen Z, in the United States, at about 20% of the US population, almost 28%. And then after that, you have Gen X, 1965 to 1980. I think, Makram, you're probably a Gen X, maybe. And then we have the baby boomers like myself and maybe Michael, born between 1955 and 1964, who used floppy disks, used Lotus 123 for an application, 8-track tapes, and real estate deals on the back of napkins. So this is amazing. So I think where we're heading with this is a market that is going to be dominated across the world, and that is going to be targeted for the tokenization aspect. These 2 generations I mentioned are buying cryptocurrencies. Why can't they buy STO tokens? They can't. They need to be educated. So that's just a little bit of history there. And I think what is replicated in the United States, I think also passes on to some of the other countries around the world in terms of population, millennials, Gen Y, and Gen Z.
So let me ask you a question.
I was born in 1964, but identify as Gen X.
Well, we just hit the top of the list there for a baby boomer, 1964. And I'm the baby boomer in the group. Okay.
So, gents, a very fast question to both, and please a very fast answer. So, do you feel that the coming adoption spree will be imminent and will be overnight? Because if what we are saying, this generation that is more adequately supposedly capable of buying and trading tokens on the internet, digitized real estate or digitized ownership of real estate, and tokenized, fractionalized real estate, do you feel that overnight we'll see an immediate growth in, and by overnight I mean over a few years, because in centuries, over the coming few years, you see that will be imminent and very fast to happen and be adopted? John, do you feel that way or not?
The quick answer is in 3 years we'll have mass adoption.
What about you, Michael?
I would like to be as optimistic as John. I'm not sure that it's going to. There's a lot of work to be done.
Yes.
And when everybody asks me about where we're at in the current process and crossing the chasm, that great book by Jeffrey Moore about technology adoption, I always tell them that we're not even in the first inning of a baseball game. We're kind of still in the dugout, and we're walking out onto the field. So, but the great thing this year, especially, and I've been doing this, probably full time, since 2019. But you could see like glimmers of things in 2020. Then there was some big sparks in 2021, and now there's a floodgate. There's just people coming out of the woodwork saying, "Oh, yeah, I'm interested in doing tokenization. I want to know how to do this. How do we do this?" So, I am not as positive about as John is, but I know that this is coming, and I know that this is the best thing for the real estate industry.
So, guys, if it's not 3, it's 5. Mass adoption is coming. Be part of the pioneers, rather come late to the party. Michael, here we come back to the summit. The subject today is the most important part of our evening is the International Blockchain and Real Estate Summit that you're hosting, and FIBREE is supporting that, and John is present to talk about the industry report. Tell us more about it. Why the summit? What has been the history of the summit to date, and what are we trying to achieve there?
Sure. So we had our fund, and we were trying to educate investors about the fund. And we realized that until there was adoption, both from the investor side and also, as John was talking about, from the supply side, there probably wasn't going to be the resounding success that we think that this type of tokenization would create for investors and sponsors. So what we decided to do back in the beginning of 2021 is let's put together a educational event, and let's put together, and I'm focused more on funds. There's other things that are all kinds of stuff out there like metaverse and NFT, but we're focused mainly on fund tokenization and commercial real estate tokenization. So we started off with the attorneys and the accountants and everybody else, and we went just down the entire day to eventually we ended the day with how do you market these things and how do you create interest in them, but how do they trade? So we had some of the best people from both Wall Street and real estate and we had top exchanges and ATSs. And they were up on stage talking about how these things legally trade in the United States. So, and then this year we decided it's like, well, we've got that, but let's expand it. And so we expanded it to not only that, but we've got some of the top people doing real estate title. And, Medici Land is not only doing real estate title in different countries around the world, but they're also doing a pilot project in New York. So that's going to be exciting. We do have people that are going to be talking about how you can use NFTs to incentivize communities. We've got to, have people talking about community coins so that people can buy into, community. And even if they're not, owning the actual property, if they're paying rent into it and they own the token, they're actually paying rent to themselves. So those are some of the exciting things we've got going.
Actually, I love many of the things you said. I love everything you said because it's driven towards getting results. So if you are an action-driven entrepreneur today or executive in the blockchain or real estate industry, if you're a fund manager or if you're a landlord, this is where you need to be. So the Blockchain Real Estate Summit, and I remind you, become a member of FIBREE and get a discount of 25%. And do not become a member of FIBREE just for the discount, but I'm sure there's much more value there. Before I move to you, John, Emmanuel, by the way, a big thank you to Emmanuel. Emmanuel have worked so hard to put this together, and he supports us on social media and marketing at FIBREE. as well as Alexandra. But Emmanuel, well done, my man. So now he's sending me a WhatsApp reminding me, don't forget to tease them on the FIBREE Academy. So here am I, Manuel. I'm teasing them on the FIBREE Academy. Guys, FIBREE Academy is coming. And FIBREE Academy will be the first of its kind to talk blockchain in real estate, to make every single one an expert. A curriculum that has been very delicately put together to get the message out there and to get you become an expert. John Dean Marcunas, you are talking about one of the things that we are so proud of at FIBREE, and we produce annually the annual industry report. Can you tell us, please, more about the history of the industry report? What is in it today, this year, that's new, and what are you going to be talking about at the summit?
Yeah, first of all, I'm really excited about being in Austin later on this month, talking, being at the conference, participating, listening, learning, and also talking about one of FIBREE's biggest exports, biggest resources, which is the annual industry report. We've done it, completed it now, and published it for 4 years running, from 2019 to 2022. I'll be at the conference presenting a summary of the details of this 2022 industry report. And in this report, which is being published in Portuguese next week, by the way, is 167 pages of just jam-packed full of data, information, and graphs. And we start off with industry articles written by FIBREE members, everything from the metaverse to NFTs, to tokenization, to land registry, to the Internet of Things, anything related to real estate, it's in it. We have 14 articles there this year. Let's see. And then we do a great job of researching the industry on a global basis, and we review and compile data and aggregate data and analyze data from about 40 countries around the world. So there's information on each of these countries in this report. And let's see. So I'll be providing a summary of all of that. And it'll be, I think, a really educational thing to hear about what's going on globally through this annual report. The interesting thing about 2022 and 21, 2019 and 20, you wouldn't find the word NFT or metaverse in it. 2021 and 22, there's a lot of discussion, a lot of articles, and a lot of mentions about NFTs, non-fungible tokens, and the metaverse. So it's heading out that way, and who knows what will be.
2023 have none of those?
2023 will be interesting.
Exactly. John, who should read it? Who should download it today? You can download it through fibree.org. It's on the screen, guys. Go to the website, download it. Who should download it? Who should read it?
Well, that's a great question. You know, I was on a conversation yesterday with two people who are sort of new to the industry, and they asked me, where do I go for knowledge? How can I, step it up and learn more? And I said, well, you can go to the internet and type in blockchain and real estate, and you'll have to vet through that. Go to the webinars, recorded webinars. We have the annual industry reports and so forth. So I think that would be my advice. Who should do that? Anybody who's interested in real estate, anybody who's interested in blockchain. It's the intersection of blockchain and real estate.
Right. And I just wanted to, reiterate what you said, Makram, about it's not only just getting the 25% discount for the event, the amount of educational resources plus the amount of networking resources that you get by joining FIBREE, and there's just going to be more coming. So I would say that if you're interested in learning way more about this industry, one of the first things I did, it's like I'm looking around and, I finally found FIBREE. It's like, oh, I need to join this because, I've been involved with the International Council of Shopping Centers since 1987. I've been, member of the Urban Land Institute. And so if you want to get into the room with the people that are actually doing things and learn from them, that's the best way to do it. So I would recommend joining FIBREE, and then you get your 25% discount. Go on over to the Blockchain Real Estate Summit registration page, and you will be drinking all kinds of information from a fire hose. and you'll be on your way to a career in real estate tokenization.
You know, with this statement, you've made the whole sponsorship arrangement between us level. So just with this statement, you know, thank you so much. Before I go to any closing, I usually want something that has never been said before, that is intriguing, and you have one of them. So please go ahead, Michael.
Well, we have a kind of a surprise that is kind of out of left field, as one of the people that are involved in one of the panels at the summit, and it's if the ultimate real estate play is going out and starting your own country. And not only that, but the country of Liberland is also run completely on blockchain. All the voting is done on blockchain, and all the governance is done on blockchain. So I'm a resident of Liberland, and I said, why not let's invite some of the guys from Liberland over and talk about how you do the ultimate real estate development, which is starting a country.
Amazing. You know what? I expected so much, but not this. So, John, do you have something similar or as intriguing?
That's pretty intriguing. But I'm going to close with a comment about education and outreach, right? We talked about how long it would take to get tokenization adopted or other blockchain technologies with other real estate sectors, 3 to 5 years maybe. It's about articulating the subjects, outreach, education, awareness. And I'll just say that to paraphrase an old Greek philosopher who said that knowledge is power. I think it may have been Aristotle. Knowledge is power. Well, that's okay, but that's sort of a silo. I'd like to paraphrase that and say that shared knowledge is even more powerful. This is exactly what FIBREE is about and what this event is about. So join us for sharing knowledge. Share your knowledge with us and vice versa.
I salute you for that. And guys, the Blockchain Real Estate Summit, join it please at Austin, live or virtual. Yeah, Michael, they can do either or.
Yes.
Thank you so much for everyone, by the way, who sent us comments and who sent questions. We are short on time today, so although I put the Q&A banner out, but we're short on time, so we will not be able to answer the questions. But I thank you so much for being part of this, and I promise you that we will be answering them, because we'll be seeing both gentlemen many more times. And if you want to get them in person or live, feel free to join the event. Michael, any last words to our guests and viewers today?
No, I just want to thank you and John and everybody at FIBREE for putting this together. We, are really interested in just creating educational content for people so that there's wider adoption, because I'm a firm believer that you create human flourishing by giving people greater access to wealth and greater access to stable money. So, I'm just all about, how do we get this kicked up and, kicked up to, instead of that, 3 to 7% number, to, billions of people owning real estate.
Let everyone be a landlord, guys. Michael's so thankful for that. John, your last words, please, to our viewers.
Yeah, I'd like to make an announcement, if I may. This is
Please.
quite interesting. We have a colleague, a new member of FIBREE, who is creating and organizing a incubator shared workspace in the city of Miami and the state of Florida. This is really exciting because he has offered us, FIBREE, the FIBREE Association, as a nonprofit, free membership to the space, the workspace and the incubator space. And with this free membership, we're going to have a new, a North American address for FIBREE on Brickell Avenue, the financial district of Miami. And this will be happening in a month. We have the letter of intent out. We're signing a contract. We'll have signage inside the building. And this is a place where anybody who comes to Miami that's a FIBREE member can use the space to meet with investors, clients, do seminars, and there'll be a production room to do videos, which I think, Mark Rhymer, you would have fun with. So I wanted to make that announcement. We're very excited about that. Headquarters, North American headquarters for FIBREE, coming up in the next month.
Now I can use my
John
FIBREE
does.
membership just to go down and sleep in Miami.
Exactly. See what John does. He keeps them till the end. John, Michael, thank you so much for the session today. I really enjoyed it. I hope you did as well. And I hope our viewers and people who are listening to us today have enjoyed it or will listen to us over the coming few days as well. I want to thank, by the way, everyone who's collaborating with FIBREE. When the Blockchain Real Estate Summit, deals with FIBREE, collaborates with FIBREE, and we support the Blockchain Real Estate Summit, I believe we're joining our energies for the greater good of educating everyone and at the same time making it happen. And when industry leaders meet to act and brainstorm, in our opinion, that think tank and the energy that comes out of it is inspiring. So thank you so much, Michael, for that opportunity. Thank you so much, John, also for getting many of the parties who are interested and share similar ethic and vision of what FIBREE stands for onto the table. That's pretty interesting as well. Thank you to everyone who's working hard. I would like here to mention Yo. He's a gentleman who approximately dedicates all his time to FIBREE. Now we have amazing other gentlemen and ladies who come on and put their time and effort. I thank the president, Akeem. I thank Dennis, who've done this overlay today. And, a company CEO, a executive board member, a co-founder of FIBREE, working on an overlay with us. And everyone is putting his time to change the future to something that's much better and much more fun. I have a comment here, which I will read because I can't close without reading. It's too long. Thank you so much, Davis. I'm so sorry, guys. I can't get all the comments on screen. And I'm already 3 minutes beyond, by the way, which I'm usually better than that. But although time is of essence, knowledge is of more essence. Thank you so much, gentlemen. Again, another session of FIBREE Talks. We have recorded, by the way, plenty of sessions that we haven't put on yet. So this is the first live broadcasted session of FIBREE Talks. It's part of the brief. On the brief, there's no hype, just a scientific approach. Thank you all for joining us and have a pleasant day.